Alright, welcome to the 2018 Xtreme Dynasty mock draft. Quick disclaimer, I've had several confidential conversations with the owners in this league, and I have inside information on exactly who they're going to draft in the first round. It wouldn't be fair for me to disclose those picks in this mock draft, so those picks have been changed. Not to mention that I'm not going to give away my own draft intentions, so a lot of these picks are just smoke, with the exception of the first two picks, but this mock draft is meant to be educational and fun. Let's go ahead and get started. Here's a quick look at the draft order for the first round. Poor Bastards is now on the clock. Look, I'm just going to jump right into this because the 1-1 isn't going to shock anyone. We're not all wondering who is he going to take. With the first overall selection in the 2018 Xtreme Dynasty mock draft, Poor Bastards selects Saquon Barkley, running back from Penn State, drafted by the New York Giants with the second overall pick in the NFL draft. This guy is in a tier all by himself. There's Saquon and then there's everyone else. This guy is special. Gotham offered an unprecedented 4 first-round picks for the opportunity to draft Saquon, and owner Greg Kukier turned him down. That's how special he is. Barkley is a high-tempo runner with elite wiggle and tremendous lateral burst and agility. He always keeps his legs moving and is the total package since he is capable of receiving out of the backfield. He is a true 3-down back. His character and work ethic are also tremendous. This isn't a guy you should worry about having Zeke-like off-field issues. I don't even have any negatives about him without seeming nitpicky. In his 3-year college career, he averaged 6.52 yards per touch and scored 54 career touchdowns. The Giants haven't had talent like this at the running back position since Tiki Barber. This is easily one of the safest 1-1 picks in recent history, if not ever. With the second overall pick that Bladder Cops acquired from Captain Reg in a trade where Bladder sent his 1-4, 3-4, and a 2019 second-round pick just to move up 2 spots, owner Trent Yenny will select Ronald Jones, running back from USC, drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yenny knew that when he was picking at 1-4 that he would be drafting directly behind fellow Tampa Bay Buck fan Matt Ron, who has a propensity for taking running backs, so he decided to leave nothing to chance and leapfrog Ron to pick at 1-2. Rojo is a classic slasher in the vein of Jamal Charles with the wiggle and explosiveness to elude open field tackles. He wasn't very involved in the passing game at USC, catching only 32 balls in 40 games, but I still believe he is more than capable of being a good pass-catching running back at the NFL level. With the third overall pick, I'm going to tell you who Matt Ron should draft, but then tell you who he is really going to draft. Daddy Issues needs to draft a wide receiver here. If you look at his depth chart, his 4 starting wide receivers are likely to be DeAndre Hopkins, Nelson Aguilar, Marquise Goodwin, and Robert Woods. He drafted Corey Davis last year to bolster his wide receiver core, and Davis didn't have the rookie year that Ron had hoped for, although I truly believe Davis will have a much bigger impact in his second season. Matt Ron should add another wide receiver here and take the first wide receiver off the board in the NFL draft, DJ Moore from Maryland. Not only was Moore the first overall wide receiver selected by Carolina, but Daddy Issues also has Cam Newton at quarterback, which means that he has the opportunity to double dip on all touchdowns from Newton to Moore. However, despite the fact that Matt Ron should go wide receiver here, there is no way that I see him passing on the opportunity to draft a running back like Darius Geis from LSU. Geis is arguably the second best running back in this draft class, and that is just too much for Matt Ron to pass on. Much like his predecessor, Leonard Fournette, last year, Geis is a violent, angry runner with exceptional balance and speed. He can run you over or outrun you with home run 4.49 speed, which is faster than Fournette's 4.51. He has also been praised by head coach Jay Gruden for his pass-catching ability so far in OTAs. Unlike Barkley, he fell a little in the draft due to some character concerns, but if you liked Fournette last year, this guy has the potential to be even better. With the 4th selection, Captain Reg selects Calvin Ridley, wide receiver from Alabama. Reg was really hoping to trade down out of this spot due to knowing that he needs to go wide receiver here, but believing he could still get Ridley at the end of the first round, but I personally think he's going to have a hard time moving the pick. Sutton could also be an option here for Reg, but I think Ridley has the clearer path to fantasy relevance in year 1, and Reg can afford to be patient and give Sutton a year to be productive. Ridley could not have asked for a better landing spot than Atlanta, where he gets to play opposite fellow Alabama superstar Julio Jones and catch passes from an elite quarterback like Matt Ryan. Ridley has game-changing talent, complete with blazing speed and rare route running ability for a rookie. Matt Ryan said, "In and out of breaks, he is as good as anybody that I've been around. He's got very good hands. He's smart. You can tell he's been well coached." Keep in mind that Ryan has been around wide receivers like Julio Jones and Roddy White and said that Ridley is in and out of breaks as good as anybody that he has seen. If there's a knock on Ridley, it's his size and ability to get off press coverage, but he could end up being one of the most dangerous wide receivers in the NFL. Next up, we have the Gotham City Jokers selecting Nick Chubb out of Georgia at 1-5. Gotham badly needs a running back here, and owner Mike Jargo believes that Chubb is the best option available after watching Saquon, Rojo, and Geis already come off the board. There are certainly plenty of people out there who believe Chubb is the second best running back in this draft class. Cleveland may not be the greatest landing spot for him, but don't be concerned about that contract extension that Duke Johnson just got. Even if Chubb comes off the field on third downs, he is in no different of a situation than Geis, who will inevitably concede third downs to Chris Thompson. Chubb isn't overly elusive, but he is incredibly patient with great balance, cutting, and ability to power through arm tackles. The knock on Chubb is that he doesn't possess elite breakaway speed, but the same thing was said about Hunt last year, and look at how that turned out. By the way, Chubb's 4.5240 is faster than Hunt's 4.6240. He is this class's number 2 spark running back behind only Saquon Barkley. With the 6th pick in the first round, Ezekiel 2517 selects wide receiver Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M. Kirk was selected with the 15th pick in the second round by the Arizona Cardinals. Kirk is a tough slot receiver with strong natural hands and impressive route running and ability to beat press coverage. Scouts love his mental toughness as well. The knock on Kirk is his lack of speed and explosiveness, but his 4.4740 is faster than fellow teammate David Johnson, who ran 4.5, and Johnson is plenty fast. Kirk reminds me a lot of this year's Cooper Kupp. Bladdercops is on the clock with the 7th overall pick that he acquired along with the 4.7 from Howie for the 2.4, 4.4, 7.4, and next year's first round pick from Bladder. Owner Travis Yenny gave up a lot to move up to this spot, but after getting Rojo at 1-2, he is extremely happy to see that daddy issues passed on the number 1 wide receiver selected in the NFL draft by the Carolina Panthers, wide receiver DJ Moore out of Maryland. Carolina is a great landing spot for Moore, who is possibly the most balanced wide receiver in this draft class. He checks every box. Moore was the 2017 Big Ten Wide Receiver of the Year. He is bigger than fellow Maryland alum Stephon Diggs, but their playing style and athletic ability are similar. With a 4.4240, he is definitely fast and is incredibly slippery after the catch. He's not the most polished route runner, but he is dangerous with the ball in his hands. With the 8th pick in the first round, the Crows select running back Kerryon Johnson from Auburn, where he led the SEC in rushing. Johnson was drafted by the Detroit Lions with the 11th pick in the second round. Johnson has an instant burst that can rocket him through the line and into the second level of defenses. He has a fantastic stiff arm and runs through defenders. His understanding of pass protection should help him stay in the game on third downs and is an excellent receiving back. The knock on him is that he needs to be a more patient runner, and his frame may not hold up if he's asked to carry the ball a lot. With the 9th pick in the first round, Das Raiderhawks selects San Diego State running back Rashad Penny, who was drafted by the Seahawks in the first round. Penny has the desired NFL size and is a volume carry running back with a high motor that should allow him to be a productive NFL every down running back. He is a patient runner with strong lower body strength to power through defenders. The knock on him is that, like his Aztec predecessor Donnell Pumphrey, he is a system running back that only thrives in that particular system. However, Pete Carroll drafted this kid in the first round, so I'm sure he's going to have a plan for how to use him. Pete Carroll has stated that he believes Penny is a 3-down back. He can get a little bounce happy around the line of scrimmage and doesn't always show the feel for choosing the proper running lane, as well as concerns in pass protection, but these are all things that a running back coach can help him overcome. Young running back with high ceiling but low floor. With the 10th pick in the first round, Sandusky Victims selects SMU wide receiver Cortland Sutton, who was drafted by the Broncos at 2'8". Sutton is a possession receiver with NFL size and toughness, with strong hands and downfield physicality and the ability to win contested catches. He is an excellent run-blocking wide receiver and has the size and physicality to be a big-time red zone target using basketball skills to win against opposing defenders. The knock on Sutton is his speed, but let's not pretend that 4.52 is not still fast. There is also concern with path to playing time in his first year behind Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. However, one or both of those guys could be gone in 2019, opening the door for Sutton to become the new #1 wide receiver in Denver. Luckily, owner Brandon Tubbs can afford to be patient with Sutton considering he has Antonio Brown, Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, and Julian Edelman, not to mention Chris Hogan and Allen Hurns. With the 11th pick, the Gotham City Jokers selects the first overall selection in the NFL draft by the Cleveland Browns and Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Baker Mayfield. Is this a stretch? Absolutely. But let me tell you why it makes sense. Gotham has only 36-year-old Ben Roethlisberger, third-year quarterback Jared Goff, and Teddy Bridgewater, who at this point is coming off a major injury, switched teams, and may or not be in line for clipboard duties. Owner Michael Jargo desperately needs a quarterback, and considering he has no second-round pick in this draft, he's not going to wait around until 3-5 to see what quarterbacks, if any, are left on the board. Also considering that there are some quarterback-needy teams like Sandusky Victims, Orton, and Poor Bastards, of which the last two hold the 2 picks directly following Gotham's pick, he couldn't risk someone else reaching for a quarterback early and possibly starting a run on quarterbacks in the second round. Mayfield was clearly the #1 overall pick for a reason. He is a potential franchise-changing quarterback with tremendous upside. The first thing you'll notice about Mayfield is that he is a fiery competitor who plays with massive chip on his shoulder. He has above-average accuracy and a gift for extending plays. The knock on him is that he is a small, spread quarterback who is scheme-dependent and he plays for the Browns. You shouldn't be concerned that he is likely to sit most of year 1 behind Tyrod Taylor because you are drafting him for his long-term potential. With the final pick in the first round, league champion Kyle Orton's drinking buddies selects first-round Patriots running back Sony Michel out of Georgia. This is honestly one pick I have no clue how owner Fabian Villarreal is going to draft. However, I have to believe that he goes running back here, and this is why. His top 2 running backs on his team are Leonard Fournette and Dion Lewis, who are both phenomenal running backs, but after those two he has Buck Allen, Gio Bernard, and a 31-year-old Jonathan Stewart, who will now be sitting behind Saquon Barkley. Those 3 do not really inspire much confidence. Fabian needs to go running back here to give him some depth for bye weeks and injuries. Some people think you should stay away from the New England backfield, but Belichick didn't draft him in the first round to make him part of a committee. Orton is getting a good value here with the 7th overall ranked rookie falling to 12. Brady isn't getting any younger, and the best way to preserve Brady's arm is by shifting the focus of your offense to the run game. NFL analyst Lance Zierlein says, Michel is a well-built, no-nonsense runner who is able to combine vision, burst, and physicality. While he can make open field cuts to find additional yardage, his running style is more angular in nature and he thrives when playing north and south. He's not the most creative runner and he lacks some finesse, but his size, pass protection, and ability to create yardage makes him a natural fit as a future NFL starter. His 4.54 40 speed is just a tick slower than Alvin Kamara's 4.53. With the first pick in the second round, Poor Bastards selects Chicago Bears linebacker Roquan Smith out of Georgia. After getting the best player in the draft at 1-1, owner Greg Kukier would love to get his hands on a franchise linebacker that can anchor his defense for the next 10+ years. Smith has elite athletic ability plus intelligence and has an ability to cover downfield on passing downs. He has incredible instincts combined with sideline-to-sideline 4.51 speed that allows him to find the football and close quickly on zone reads, jet sweeps, and running back screens. He has been praised by his head coach for his leadership abilities. If there is one knock on him, it's that he's a little undersized, but he more than makes up for it with his ability. With the second pick in the second round, Captain Reg selects Chicago Bears wide receiver Anthony Miller out of Memphis. Miller is an ultra-competitive player with a chip on his shoulder that has driven him to outwork the man across from him. He may be the hardest working player in this draft class not named Saquon Barkley. He can line up inside or outside and has the ability to work all three levels of the field. He is effective when setting up his routes and uses head fakes to defeat outside and inside leverage. He is a top-notch ball tracker downfield and makes excellent body adjustments to haul in challenging catches. However, he is known to drop and double catch simple or short throws. With the third pick in the second round, Daddy Issues selects Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup out of Colorado State. If Matt Ron didn't pull the trigger on a wide receiver in the first round, he has a tremendous opportunity right here to pick up another one. This is a pick that seems like it's right up Matt Ron's alley. Not only is Gallup's NFL player comparison Nelson Aguilar, who is also on the team, but he looks to be stepping directly into the void left by Dez Bryant. Gallup is a natural athlete who possesses a good combination of height, weight, and speed. He has a knack for creating separation by driving off corners into an aggressive back pedal and has a 20-yard climb that allows him to climb over corners trying to squat on underneath stuff. His routes show attention to detail and he can break quickly to uncover on short routes. He is very competitive after the catch and has unique open field instincts as a runner. Gallup is still a little raw but is quickly fine-tuning his game. Dallas is the perfect landing spot for him with a wide open receiving core. Jerry Jones has already said that he is a week 1 starter. With the fourth pick in the second round acquired from Bladder Cops, Howie's Hustlers is on the clock for the first time in this draft and selects Buffalo Bills linebacker Tremaine Edmunds out of Virginia Tech. Howie was hoping that he could get one or both of the top 2 linebackers with each of his next 2 picks, but with Roquan Smith already off the board, he pulls the trigger on Edmunds, and Howie isn't disappointed. While there are many who believe Smith is the best linebacker in this draft class, there are also many who believe that Edmunds is the best, and considering he is younger, some feel that makes him more valuable in a dynasty format. Edmunds was only 19 at the time of the draft when the Bills selected him in the first round with the 16th pick. Edmunds combines elite size, speed, and explosiveness into a productive, versatile linebacker package. He doesn't have the instincts that Roquan has, but he makes up for it with ability. He can play from any linebacker spot and has Pro Bowl potential at all of them, with disruptive lateral quickness, block shedding, efficient tackling, and effective cover skills of running backs and tight ends. He's a true 3-down linebacker. His weakness is that he lacks instincts, can sometimes be slow to diagnose a play, lacks patience, can be lured by misdirection, and needs to add some upper and lower body strength. However, considering he'll still only be 20 by the time the season starts, he has a long, bright future ahead of him. One NFC scout said, "Good luck with your player comp on this one. They don't come like him. I don't think there has ever been a linebacker that has had his size and speed." The Bills have already confirmed that Edmunds is locked in as the starting middle linebacker, and he could contend for Defensive Rookie of the Year. With the 5th pick in the second round, Howie's Hustlers is on the clock again with his second straight pick that he acquired from Gotham. He will select Los Angeles Chargers safety Derwin James out of, you guessed it, Florida State. We all know how he loves his Seminoles. I also would not be surprised here to see Howie double down on linebacker and choose Leighton Vander Esch and come back in 2 picks to grab Derwin, but for the sake of this mock draft, I'll say that he takes Derwin right here. However, if Vander Esch is on his radar, then he may take the linebacker here if he believes that Ezekiel may take Vander Esch at 2-6. At 117, James could have been the steal of the entire NFL draft and will immediately step into a starting role in that Chargers secondary. James has all of the desired physical traits and mental makeup and leadership skills of an all-pro safety. He has the ability to not only set the tone but also change the course of a game. He is an extremely versatile weapon that can line up anywhere on the field. He is a solid open field tackler, savvy blitzer with 4.47 speed, and will play the robber role or hybrid role near the line of scrimmage. He needs to work on anticipating and reacting quicker in coverage situations and improving pursuit angles, but he will get better with more experience since he has only played in 26 college games. He's more talented than last year's number 1 safety Jamal Adams, although Adams was a more consistent player. With the 6th pick in the second round, Ezekiel 2517 selects Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver James Washington from Oklahoma State. Washington is a dangerous speed receiver who probably plays faster than his 4.54 40 would suggest. He has a 3-year history in college of hitting huge chunk plays with his speed and ability to track the deep ball and win 50-50 contested catches. He is able to escape press coverage and can line up inside or outside. However, he needs to improve with his route running and being able to win underneath against tight man coverage. The Steelers know how to use wide receivers, and with Martavis Bryant now in Oakland, he has an opportunity to shine behind AB and Juju. Long term, he has the potential to be reunited with his college quarterback Mason Rudolph after Ben retires. The two of them were very prolific together at Oklahoma State. With the 7th pick in the 2nd round, Howie's Hustlers will pass on Leighton Vander Esch for the opportunity to select Denver Broncos running back Royce Freeman from Oregon. I have to admit that this is a bit of a homer call, knowing that Howie is a Broncos fan, but when the 7th overall ranked rookie running back and the 10th overall ranked rookie falls into your lap at pick 19, you don't hesitate. Howie never expected Freeman to still be on the board here. If you look at Howie's roster, he no longer has a Denver running back now that C.J. Anderson has departed for Carolina. With the exception of Dalvin Cook, running back 7, he doesn't have another running back 1 on his team. Drake is listed at running back 27, and Collins is listed at running back 31. Freeman will not be handed the top spot on the Broncos depth chart with Devontae Booker still there, but Freeman is the closest thing to this year's Kareem Hunt in the 2018 draft class. Freeman is the leading rusher in Oregon team history in a list that also contains LaMichael James, DeAnthony Thomas, LeGarrette Blount, Jonathan Stewart, Reuben Drones, Derek LaVille, and Kenyon Barner. While those backs have all had varying degrees of success in the NFL, they were all quite productive at Oregon. Freeman has outstanding size and vision for a running back. He runs with power and has the upper body strength to shrug off tackles and has excellent contact balance. He is a willing interior runner and plays with a feel for block development and uses well-timed throttle to run downhill behind his blockers. Freeman has below-average elusiveness with over 1,000 touches in his career, and some worry that the tires are already missing some tread. Probably more of a grinder than a slasher now. Reminds me of Deontay Foreman, who came out last year. John Elway expects Freeman to be an early down starter. Elway said, "He's a great addition to our backfield. Bell cow type, first and second down, he's a guy we needed. We needed a thumper." With the 8th pick in the 2nd round, the Crows select Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver DJ Chark out of LSU. Big surprise, right? Talk about a homer pick. LSU produces as many pro wide receiver prospects as any school in the nation. Their 15 draft picks at the position in 15 years is tied with Ohio State for the most in the country. Chark is the next in a long line of LSU wide receivers. He is tall and fast, faster than most of his LSU predecessors with a 4.34 40. Chark has a first-class double move that leaves corners off balance and allows him to create separation. Corners also respect his speed so much that they have to play off of him. His best quality is also his biggest downfall. He relies too heavily on his speed. He does one thing well, and that's go deep. He has a very limited route tree and could struggle with press coverage or NFL corners who are just as fast as he is. With the 9th pick in the 2nd round, Das Raderhawk selects Miami Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki out of Penn State. This pick fills a team need for owner Justin Sanderson, who currently only has tight ends Tyler Eifert and Tyler Kroft, which are both coincidentally on the same team in that order on the depth chart. Das needs a tight end badly, and due to the landing spot of Dallas Goedert, Gesicki is easily the top tight end in this draft class, especially if you're looking for immediate production, which is always difficult to get at the tight end spot. But Miami is a fantastic landing spot for Gesicki. Adam Gase's offense loves to feature a pass-catching tight end. Just look at what he did with Julius Thomas in Denver. Gesicki's stock exploded at the Combine, where he tested as a 99th percentile spark athlete with 4.54 speed, a 41.5-inch vertical, and a 6.76 three-cone time. He is a dangerous seam-stretching receiver and red zone threat. He has great hands and hasn't legitimately dropped a pass in 2 years. His biggest weakness is run blocking. Gesicki is this year's Evan Ingram. With the 10th pick in the 2nd round, the Sandusky Victims selects Baltimore Ravens quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner Lamar Jackson from Louisville. I know what you're thinking. Before Darnold? Before Rosen? Before Allen? The reality is that he is ranked ahead of both Darnold and Allen. If you draft Jackson, you're going to have to be patient, but owner Brandon Tubbs can afford to wait. Not only does he own Tom Brady, who will start every week except for his bye week, he also owns Joe Flacco, who Lamar Jackson is currently sitting behind. So either way, he'll own the starting Ravens quarterback. Once Jackson takes over, and it could be sooner rather than later, he is going to be a special quarterback to own. It's obvious to immediately compare him to Michael Vick. By the way, offensive coordinator Marty Mornhinweg and quarterbacks coach James Urban both worked with Vick when he was in Atlanta. Jackson is not a prototypical quarterback, and his accuracy is sometimes suspect, but he has rare speed and athleticism and can single-handedly win games. He is an elite playmaker, and from a fantasy perspective, his ability to hit home runs with his legs or find the end zone with his legs like Cam can make him a quarterback worth owning. Let's not pretend like he can't play quarterback, though. He has a strong pocket presence and has a crazy strong arm and can deliver balls with velocity. His weaknesses are that he is small and there could be concerns over durability. He needs to learn to slide and work on his accuracy. With the 11th pick in the second round, Fuck Xtreme is on the clock with his first pick in this draft. Owner Taylor Tubbs will select Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen from Wyoming. You either love this kid or you hate him. The Bills thought enough of him to take him 3 spots ahead of Josh Rosen, and if you're not a Darnold fan, then why not take Allen here? Allen might have the highest ceiling of all the rookie quarterbacks, but he also has the lowest floor. He is boom or bust. Allen has rare arm strength. Quarterback Tre'Davious White says that Allen is going to break a lot of wide receivers' fingers. There have been a lot of comparisons to Brett Favre, from how hard he throws to the way he improvises on throws. Sometimes you cringe when he lets the ball go thinking it's not going to end well, and sometimes it doesn't. But then there are times when you wonder, how did he do that? He can thread a needle with his rocket arm and make throws that no one else can make. Very Favre. Now, of course, I'm in no way saying that he is going to be anywhere as good as Brett. Time will tell. I'm just saying that they have a lot of things in common. They don't just share the good things in common. They both have weaknesses for trying to win the game on every throw. He takes too many chances or makes poor decisions because he has too much faith in his arm that he can make every throw. He needs to realize that there are times when he doesn't have to throw it at full speed and could use a little more touch on some passes and better anticipation. With the final pick in the second round and the end of our mock draft, Kyle Orton's drinking buddies selects Dallas Cowboy linebacker Leighton Vander Esch out of Boise State. Not only does owner Fabian Villarreal have a team need at linebacker, but he has a history of taking a linebacker in the second round with Reuben Foster last year and Reggie Ragland the year before. I feel like he could use a quarterback here, considering he started several games last year without a quarterback, and although it seems like he may be getting Bradford, Luck, and Tannehill back, he still may want to consider adding a quarterback at some point. If Mayfield were still on the board, then I would have to believe that he would consider it, but he is not a Rosen fan, so linebacker it is. The 2017 Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year is a special linebacker with NFL comparisons to Brian Urlacher and early career Carlos Dansby. He is a run-stuffing linebacker and had the most run stops and highest run stop percentage among draft-eligible linebackers. At the Combine, he scored a 96th percentile on the SPARQ. He is an every-down linebacker with a high ceiling. Some reports suggest he'll play a starting strong side linebacker, but I think it's possible the Cowboys move Jalen Smith to the strong side and start Vander Esch at middle linebacker. He has sideline-to-sideline range and seems to have a knack for intercepting passes. He's one of those that is always around the ball. Whether he makes the play or not, he'll be right there. He needs to get stronger and has only 1 year of starting experience, which is a negative, but that just means he has the potential to be great with more experience. And that is the end of our 2018 Xtreme Dynasty mock draft. Thank you for watching and happy drafting.